Is 2026 going to be your I really did that shit year? Or are we heading into 2027 with the same goals, the same dreams, because you changed nothing? See, I made a decision at the beginning of the year. I decided that 2026 is going to become my year of winning. And we all know that in order to win, you have to what? You have to participate. You have to actually show up. So here we are. This is me showing up to do something I said I was going to do. Welcome to the Category of One podcast. I'm your host, Janvière, and I'm honored to have you here today to discuss what a category of one is. Before recording this episode, I asked the person who probably knows me the best to give a simplified description of who I am. He said I was peculiar, special, and I live by my own rules. Not so sure about the peculiar part, but that sums it up quite nicely, I believe. I do consider myself to be a category of one, and as we get to know each other more and more, you'll see how that shows up. Currently, I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey to overcome something I coined as hidden talent syndrome. HTS. HTS is a pattern I've observed repeatedly in my own life in women who are so talented with great ideas, but who kind of never seem to quite get it right. I like to see it as the cousin of the imposter syndrome. The imposter feels out of place, and as if at any given moment, people may figure out that they don't belong, although they do. Now, the hidden talent on the other side knows they do belong and they're capable, but they keep pushing things off. They stay busy just to be busy, just as a distraction, and they give others the right of way and say things like it's not their HTS time. Is not a death sentence. We're human beings capable of change. Our brains can change and get used to oldness. Here's something that I know for sure. Nobody is coming with a green light to give you permission to make things happen. No one's coming, ever. Not your boss, not your parents, not your partner, not January 1st. Think about women who built something from nothing, like Sarah Blakely, Wendy Williams, Sarah Amoroso, the Oprahs of the world. They had no blueprint. They had no team to start with, nor did they have a guarantee. But they knew something for certain. They knew what they were made of and what they're capable of, and had a clear decision to take themselves and their vision very seriously. And what they did is that they operated at that level of the dreams before the dream was even fully formed and had a name. Let me repeat that one for you because I'm not sure that it really landed. They decided that they're going to operate from the start as the person who is at the level of their dreams before the dream was even fully formed and had a name. That's a choice, and that choice is available to all of us. As a category one, you don't wait for the right moment. You create it, babes. You don't need a new year, a new Monday, or a new version of yourself. You need a decision, and you need to act on it. And guess what? No one has it ever all figured out. None of us do. No matter who I talk to, from C-suite to startup to students, we're all just taking it day by day, one step at a time, with what's available to us in that given moment. So here are my rules to live by if you want to operate as a category of one. And remember, you make your own rules, so these are mine, okay? We have 8 in total. Here's number 1. Stop waiting for permission. That's never coming. At some point, you have to become the person who says, I'm allowed to take myself seriously now, and I can't waste any more time. Take matters into your own hand, babe. Number 2, build the identity before the proof shows up. Most people doubt themselves and need proof. They need to prove themselves that they are who they say they are. A category of one does it the other way around. She shows up before she has the audience, before the money is right, before the recognition is there, before anyone can clap. Because why? Identity leads and evidence follows. Something my mother likes to say a lot, and when I was younger, I really didn't quite get. And once it hit me and it clicked, that was a total game changer. She used to always ask us, where's your space? Where's your place in this world? And what she meant by that is that we define how the world perceives us. Most people live passively and they just go through life with like reacting to what's happening to them. And that kind of shapes them, that shapes their identity. But you want to be the type of person who decides who she wants to be in this world and acts accordingly so the world can react to her, not the other way around. All right? So build the identity first and the proof will follow. Rule number 3. Don't confuse being good at functioning with being aligned. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of women are highly functional in lives that don't satisfy them. And everything may look fine from an outsider's perspective, but internally, it feels like something's missing. And it's a life they're not living for themselves. I'm very big on not staying complacent. Just because things are working out, just because they're working, doesn't necessarily mean that they're working in a way they should. I hope that made sense to you. Let's move on. Rule number 4. Forget potential, honey. Forget potential. Participation is where it's at. Potential is cute. I'm not going to lie about it. Potential is cute, but it's not enough. You can't romanticize potential. You got to respect the execution. Potential is only impressive in theory. The gap between I could and I did is participation. And participation, depending on your goals, looks a lot like pitching, posting, launching, speaking, applying. It's showing up before you feel fully confident. And a category of 1 is participating in her own life. She challenges herself and she gets uncomfortable at times, but that's the price you pay. And you want to get ahead. So we're halfway through the rules. Are you ready for number 5? Number 5 is that your environment will always try to keep you at a level that they understand you and that they feel most comfortable with you. When you're growing, not everyone comes with you. And I don't believe in cutting people off unless it's really necessary. This is simply about growing apart. Your evolution will disrupt the roles people assigned you and the context your relationship gain relevance in. For example, if someone's role in your life is to listen to you when you're complaining, but you stop complaining, you both have to reevaluate what connects you a part of that, right? And it's just as simple as that. When you start shifting, you disrupt relationship dynamics. And that's absolutely fine. It's growth. Rule number 6. The right timing is a myth. I defended my bachelor's thesis on a random weekday. I don't even remember what day it was. Either Tuesday, Wednesday, something. I only remember the sun was out. It was a nice sunny day. But it was a random day of the week. Everyone was working. Everyone was busy going about their lives. While I just hit and completed a super important milestone in my life. The day didn't give what happened relevance, but the accomplishment did. And that's mind shift that you need. Your life doesn't change because of the calendar. It changes when you begin to do things differently than usual. That can happen in January. It can happen in May. It can happen on a random Tuesday. Not the timing holds power, but the decision and the actions do. Rule number 7. We're almost through here. You cannot build an extraordinary life with chronic self-abandonment. Let me repeat that. You cannot build an extraordinary life with chronic self-abandonment. How often do we betray ourselves when we say yes instead of saying no, when we shrink in rooms, when we push off and delay our goals, when we abandon our routines, and when we are tolerating disrespect from other people or downplay our true desires. Not admitting to wanting more is also a form of self-abandonment. As a category of 1, you don't do that. You set an example for yourself and live by that standard. And don't get me wrong, it's not about perfection, it's not about being better than anybody else, but it's about living by a set of rules and values and not compromising them. That's super, super important, and I'll tell you why. It's super important because that's how you will determine if you're in the right rooms or not. If you're in rooms or environments and with people who allow you or make you question your set of rules, your boundaries, you're in the wrong environment. Number 8, last but not least, comparison is the thief of joy. We all know that. We don't aim to be better than everyone else. You should never do that. The goal is to become so fully yourself that comparison loses any relevance. I'm very happy that I've always been that way. I've never had to struggle with comparing myself, even as a kid or a teen, when my parents or boys or whoever would tell me that I'm too loud and I should be more like such and such. I really never cared for any of that, because I realized at a very young age that you cannot compare lives and situations. Although we may end up in the same destination, what has gotten us there is always completely different. And this podcast is all about living life as an ambitious woman with the detours, the plot twists, and all the above. And this is it for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Category of One podcast. If this hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on to your circle because we rise faster together. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.